Don't let these tears fool you. There's all dog around this mug. I'm good.
What's going on, Who Dat Nation? It is yours truly, TJAY Jones, and yes, I am the host of the State of the Saints podcast, and yes, we are live. We are live right now on a Wednesday night because we got some breaking news that we need to discuss, but thank you all so much for tuning into the State of the Saints podcast where we talk New Orleans Saints. There's a lot of things going on with yours truly. I'll get into that a little bit later in the show. But we're going to be talking about sexy Jake Haener. Say it ain't so. Suspended 6 games this season. We're also going to be talking about the Saints Week 1 matchup versus the Tennessee Titans. And we're also going to be talking about the Saints starting the season off at number 16 on the power rankings. What's up with that? But let's go ahead and get started, man. Let's go ahead and talk about my guy, man. My dude, Jake Haener. As y'all know, I like to call him sexy Jake Haener, because of the whole photo shoot thing. And, Jake Haener, he really turned some heads, man. I think a lot of people didn't know what they were going to get with Jake Haener. We've seen, he was a late round draft pick. We didn't know what the Saints were going to do with him. We didn't know how he was going to perform on the field. And he did a really good job. Now, I know some people want to pay attention to the last game of the preseason. Look, it is what it is, man. If you've been following DeMeco Ryans as a defensive coordinator, you know that the dude is the absolute truth. He has really rattled some of the best quarterbacks in the league. So I'm not going to look at Jake Haener's 3rd preseason game and look at it like he just slow. I've been seeing people online talking about, he ain't play well. What the hell were you watching? I mean, you look at Bryce Young, you look at Anthony Richardson, you look at CJ Stroud. He played better than all those guys in preseason. But you got to wonder why. Why was Jake Haener such a beast in preseason? Was it because of the natural talent that he possesses? Like, I like to think so. But it's unfortunate because Jake Haener has been suspended for 6 games for violating the NFL's policy on performance enhancement, which means that your boy was up in there rubbing on his arm. I don't know what the heck he was doing, trying to get swole. I don't know what it was, man. But Jake Haener did respond to this, of course, in a little brief statement that he posted on social media. And I'm going to go ahead and pull that up. And we're going to go ahead and take a look at that. Here it is right here. Jake Haener says, I recently learned that I tested positive. Whoa. Wait a minute. I'm sorry. I apologize. We can't do this like this. We cannot read something from sexy Jake Haener and just read it regularly. We'll do it like this. I recently learned that I tested positive for a substance banned by the NFL earlier this summer. I still do not know how the substance got into my body, as none of the supplements or prescribed medications contain that banned ingredient. I would never knowingly cheat the game that I love. However, I must take full responsibility for the failed test. I acknowledge to the Saints organization, my friends, and my family for any distractions that this suspension may have caused. I am disappointed to be away from my team for the coming weeks, but I will learn and grow from this experience. I look forward to returning to the team as soon as possible. Jake. And there you have it, Who Dat Nation. That was a statement that was made by Jake Haener. Jake Haener is one of my favorite guys out there, man. Y'all know how I feel about Jake Haener. Look, Jake Haener is a really good quarterback. Look, he completed 70% of his passes out of Fresno State his final season, 20 touchdowns, 3 picks. Dude is a beast, all right? But this isn't what you actually need. You don't need these type of distractions going into week number 1. But it could have been worse. Jake Haener could have been the starting quarterback of the New Orleans Saints, which he is not, right? We all know that Derek Carr is the starting quarterback and Jameis Winston is the backup quarterback. And it also explains why Taysom Hill was elected to be quarterback, because it seems like the Saints already knew what was about to go down, right? But Jake Haener, this is a learning experience, man. You got to be more careful. I actually believe what Jake Haener is actually saying, to be honest. But you got to be careful. When you are when you're an athlete, right, and you're playing in NFL, you got to make sure that you're dotting the I's and crossing the T's. You got to make sure that you understand what's going into your body. What are people giving you? I'm pretty sure he probably has a nutritionist, probably has a strength and conditioning guy on the side, and they probably gave him something that he didn't need. And you're not going to ask them any questions. You're just going to take their word for it, right? And that is what Jake Haener did, I believe. I really honestly believe that. But once again, you're young, you're a rookie. This is a learning experience. You got 6 games, and then, just come back to the team. Come back to the team and, learn from this situation. I don't think that the performance enhancement is the reason why Jake Haener played so well in preseason. That would be a concern for me. But I just think that, he probably did not know. And it's sad, but hey, man, it's a learning experience. Take those 6 games. It could have been worse, could have been an entire season, right? Take these 6 games, learn from it, keep it moving, and come back to the facility. Nah, scratch that. Don't just come back to the facility ready to train. Be training already for these 6 weeks and be the best version of Jake Haener that you can possibly be. That's what I want to see, right? I don't expect for Jake Haener for us to see him anytime soon. If we do see Jake Haener anytime soon, well, it goes to show you what type of season the New Orleans Saints are having in 2023. But let me go ahead and read some of your comments, man. Then we'll move on to the next topic. Thank y'all for being here, man. This is so impromptu. I know some people follow me on X, also known as Twitter, or formerly known as Twitter. It just sounds weird when you say follow me on X. It sounds weird. But anyway, some of you follow me on X, Twitter, whatever. And you knew that, I said I was going to go live. But thank you to all those who, that just chimed in impromptu, because this is about as impromptu as it could possibly get. Let me go ahead and read some of your comments, man. Let me see what you all have to say about Jake Haener. And if you got something to say about Jake Haener, go ahead and put it in the chat. But in the meantime, all right, I'm not going to just poo-poo on my boy like that, man. Look, my boy Jake Haener, I got to put some respect on this man's name. I think that he's a really good quarterback. I think that he's really talented. And like I said, man, I really feel like the Saints got something with him. So I don't think it was an outlier the way that he played. But I got to put respect on my guy's name, man. One of my favorite New Orleans Saints players. But feel free to comment and let me know what you think about Jake Haener. Let's see. Jake on that juice. He got that Jake on juice. He got me getting loose. I don't know, man. I really honestly feel like Jake Haener, did not know. I really feel that way. Young and the Restless theme song. Yeah, man. Look, that's a classic right there. Shouts out to my grandmother. I'm pretty sure, like, when she watches this, or is she watching this right now, she's probably laughing because, I knew about the Young and the Restless because of my grandmother. My grandmother used to watch it all the time. Growing up as a kid, I was on Remote Detail. Y'all know what that is, man. Some of y'all young folk don't know what I'm talking about, but some of the OGs do. You remember, like, when your grandparents or your mama or your daddy lost the remote and they trying to watch TV, and then all of a sudden they show go off and they be like, hey, turn to channel 12, come here. And you was on Remote Detail. But hey, in the meantime, man, look, I love Young and the Restless, man, growing up. I remember, like, I'll never forget this. I know this is a sports show, but it is what it is, man. I was watching Young and the Restless one time, right? I was like laying on the couch. kind of disinterested, right? I was watching it though, but I was like, man, why my grandmother watch this show so much? And all of a sudden, like it was around summertime, and it was the storyline of who shot Victor Newman, right? Anybody that watches The Young and the Restless, you know who Victor Newman is. Victor Newman is that guy, right? He is Mr. Suave himself. And they played this out the whole entire summer, right? So by the time they got to trial, I was back in school. So your boy had to fake sick a little bit because I need to know who shot Victor. You know what I'm saying? But seriously, man, all jokes aside, man, look, that, Jake Haener, I think he going to bounce back, man. He going to bounce back. It was getting good, and my computer effed it up. Let's see. Haener was sneaking off to the weed man. Now, I don't think it was the weed man, Tramal. If it was, then they wouldn't have said performance enhancement. You ain't getting swole off no weed. You know what I'm saying? You get a buzz, but you ain't about to get swole off in that thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I think he may have took something, that had like a certain ingredient that they banned from the NFL, and he probably didn't know about it, man. He's a rookie. He's a rookie, guys. Give him a break. There are a lot of things that could be. It could have been Adderall. We don't know, we don't know, and may never know. There are a lot of things it could have been. Yeah, I mean, look, it could have been a lot of things, but we're not going to find out. We're not going to find out. Let's see, Roderick, thank you for the $5. Says, I see you showing them guns, TJ. I will soon start in my weight loss journey. Hope to get cut like you. Hey, man, look, check this out. Shouts out to everybody out there that's trying to do a life change. I definitely, been in the gym trying to work on myself, trying to get better. And, I mean, it's probably the best decision that I ever made. I don't feel as sluggish as I once did. Those that follow me know that I'm a type 1 diabetic. So, man, just going into the gym, working out, taking it one day at a time, man, not trying to be out here trying to be cock diesel or nothing like that, but just trying to focus on better health. And I encourage everybody to do that. Don't worry about the dude on the other side of you or the woman on the other side of you that may look a little bit, more in physical cardiovascular shape. Focus on the goals that you want and make them realistic and just love the process, and that's the advice I have for people, and, I guarantee you'll be very happy with the results. Someone can call my boy Lil Zesty. Hey, man, I've been hearing that quite a bit, but I think the whole photo shoot was, kind of like a shout out to Zoolander. If anybody saw Zoolander, that's probably what he was trying to do, but it just turned out to be, a little bit weird because a lot of people probably didn't watch Zoolander. They just see this guy up here looking, like you say, a little bit, y'all know what I'm talking about. Let's see. Maybe Jake was trying to beat out Jameis for second quarterback job. Well, look, maybe he was, maybe he wasn't. Maybe it was just the pressure. I mean, you look at Jake Haener. He's not physically imposing, right? He's about 6 feet tall. He's about 207 pounds. And, honestly, I even question the 207 pounds. Like, if you actually ever seen Jake Haener in person, and I have, he's a small guy. Like, he's a really small guy. I seen him at the combine, and somebody tapped me on the shoulder. He was like, man, you know what that is? I said, who is that? He said, that's Jake Haener. He's a Fresno State quarterback. I was like, man, that man is small. I thought he was the kicker. But, like, you don't know, like, the pressures that these guys go through. But I really feel like it was what he said that it was, because in the world that we live in, when people trying to clout chase and they're trying to find everything that they possibly can to get on themselves, I don't think that Jake Haener would come out and just say that he didn't know in a world that we live in right now, because people are chomping at the bit. They're chomping at the bit to try to expose anybody any way that they possibly can. So I don't feel like he would have came out and said that if that wasn't the case. Already read that, but thank you, Linda. Says, I remember when we didn't have remotes. Yeah, man, look, some of these kids, they spoil, man. Like, you can actually download an app to put the remote, like, on an app. You can actually turn the TV with your phone. Like, that's man, look, if you lost that remote, that's it, because grandmama, mama, or daddy ain't paying that $10 to get that other Cox cable remote. Some of you from New Orleans, y'all know what I'm talking about when I say Cox cable. if you're not from Louisiana or from the Gulf Coast, wherever your cable provider is, right? Mama wasn't paying for it. Daddy wasn't paying for it. They weren't paying them $10, okay? Especially when you got an able-bodied son or able-bodied daughter that can stand by the TV and say, hold up, you're going too fast. Hold up, stop, right? You got that, you straight, right? That's the true universal remote. Look, I paid my universal remote dues, all right? I know what it is. Young and the Restless, right? On CBS. Then you go to ABC for All My Children. Then you turn back to CBS for As the World Turns and God and Light. Shouts out to my grandmother. Same as Bold and the Beautiful. My grandma and my aunt and cousin got me hooked on that. Man, my grandmother, she used to watch All My Children. This is crazy we talking about this, but All My Children, man. You know, Erica Kane, played by Susan Lucci. Y'all know what I'm talking about, man. Where my OGs at? Some of y'all young folk, y'all don't know what the heck we talking about. Like, man, I came here to talk about the Saints. Yes, my grandmother had me watching Young and the Restless and As the World Turns and God and Light. Yeah, man, those were shows right there, man. I remember when Reva went over the pier in that Jeep. You know what I'm saying? And all of a sudden, like, Reba was dead for 5 years. That goes to show you how the storylines go. She was dead for 5 years, and all of a sudden, she just came back to life. Only on soap operas where you get that type of action. Let's see. Aaron, thank you very much for the $5. Says, why does it always seem like we are slow to trade for or sign free agents? Well, you got to be careful. You got to be careful, Aaron. You can't just go out here and be like, man, I want this guy right here. You got to make sure that your ducks are in a row financially. It's not going to cost you down the road. And also, if it's a good fit. You know, those are a lot of things that come into play when you're trying to get some of these players, right? Can't just sit up here and just be like, oh, man, he good. Sometimes guys are good, but they may not fit in your system. Their personality may not mesh with the locker room. I mean, there's so many different nuances, you know, and a lot of people don't want to pay a bunch of money to a player who probably, as soon as they get that money, Albert Hainsworth you. Anybody knows Albert Hainsworth is know what I'm talking about. Got that big check. Then all of a sudden, like, he just forgot how to play football, got lazy, got even bigger, and didn't get a good return on their investment. The Redskins at the time, now the Commanders. Yeah, it wasn't it. TJ, health is well. You look like you dropped 10 to 15 pounds. Keep it up, buddy. Hey, actually, I dropped 35 pounds. I think I was like 35, man. Like, probably the month, you know, before I took like a break, man, I about 230. You know what I'm saying? Like about 230, 232 or something like that. And I think this morning, I was like 195. So it's a little bit more over 30 pounds. But I try to stay in between like 200 and 205 or something like that. But yeah, I lost quite a bit of weight. But, you know, like I said, when you start getting to the 190s and stuff like that, man, like, I ain't trying to be like that. So, you know, I got to get a protein or something like that. But I think I dropped 195 because yesterday was a liquid day for me. I just basically drank liquids. I ain't really eat too much. So let's see. What up, TJ? Just celebrated my 53rd birthday. This past weekend, Jake Haener will be all right. This should make him better in the end. Ramsey, well, happy belated birthday to you, man. 53 years is a great milestone. You're still here. A lot of people, you know, didn't get the opportunity to see their 53rd birthday, so it's a blessing, man. And I'm happy. And I'm happy for you, you know. Ross Jackson said hello. Oh, man, my God, Ross Jackson, man. Shouts out to Ross. Man, what a great person. Like, what a freaking great person. Like, what you all see, like, when he records Locked On Saints, that's not a facade. Like, he's one hell of a person. Like, for real, man. Yeah, so shouts out to my guy Ross, man. Keep up the good work, buddy. Says, what up, TJ? Just I already read that. But yeah, man, but you get what I'm saying, Ramsey. Happy birthday to you. Let me stroll down, and then all of a sudden, like I say, all of a sudden, we're gonna stroll down, and then we're gonna get into the next topic, which is the Saints versus the Tennessee Titans. Right? Let's see what's happening, TJ. My cell phone broke, and I got a new cell. It's a pain to transfer all of the information. I'm happy to be here tonight. Well, Jules, look, I know how that feels. I was thinking about that at the barbershop yesterday when I was at the barbershop getting Paxton's haircut. Paxton likes to sit with my phone in his lap, right? And I let him, look at YouTube and stuff like that. Shouts out to Scotty, Tuma, who cuts his hair. And man, I just seen like the way he just had the phone on his lap. It was like leaning forward and leaning forward. Boy, I started getting anxiety. I'm like, oh, let me get this phone real quick. I know how I feel, man. Look, it's good to get a new phone, but when you can't transfer the information from one phone to another and you got to do it by hand, Lord have mercy. As the OG say, Lord have mercy. TJ, I'm from the old school, and I was my parents' remote and antenna, turned dial only, and when it broke, use pliers. Oh yeah, Kathleen, come on now. I know I'm 37, but I remember them days, man. Big box TV, right? Channels 4, 6, and 8 at the top. You want to turn to channel 26? You got to, turn that knob at the bottom, and then all of a sudden, like you turn it too hard, that thing break off. You better have some needle nose pliers. You better have them needle nose pliers, man. Hey, and my all-time favorite, when they had that one squiggly line on the TV, and you got to hit that thing, boo, boo, boo. Some of y'all like, man, what are you talking about, man? Shouts out to all my OGs out there that know exactly what I'm talking about, man. But let's go ahead and move on. Shouts out to my boy T. Smitty. I see you up in here, man. Let me read for my guy, man. Tampa Bay Buccaneers fan, but man, one of those logical fans. Shouts out to my guy T. Smitty. It says, hope all is well. How much pressure is on Dennis Allen this season? The rest of the division are rebuilding teams, so your Saints should win at least 11 games. T. Smitty, what a hell of a segue. What a hell of a segue. I think I can segue on that, and I will talk about, I will answer your question also, but that's a hell of a segue. Let's talk about the Saints power ranking. Now, if you've been following ESPN's power rankings, whatever, take it with a grain of salt. They have the New Orleans Saints at number 16. Number 16. I just got a question for the chat. Is that too high or too low? Like, and I'm asking people, like, seriously, before you do it, I know a lot of people want to jump the gun, but ask yourself this. Are you being a homer or are you being a realist? Because let's not be like some of these other fans out here. Let's not be like Cowboy fans who are just absolutely delusional, right? Just think that Dak Prescott just going to automatically channel his inner Tom Brady and lead them somewhere. Let's be logical about this. Too high or too low at number 16? But to answer your question, T. Smitty, there's a lot of pressure on Dennis Allen. I'm not shying away from it. I know some people don't want to talk about it, and I understand why, right? But Dennis Allen has a lot of pressure on him because this is your team. This is no longer Sean Payton's team, and you no longer can say, oh, man, these are Sean Payton guys. The Saints gave you the keys to the car. They gave you the ingredients to cook the best dish possible. We seen that the New Orleans Saints allowed a lot of players who could be starters in this league to come in to compete. We seen Dennis Allen fire and hire the individuals that he wants. So if he does not get it done this season, I think he should go. I'm serious. Like, I'm sorry. There's not an excuse in the world that I feel could save Dennis Allen his job in 2023. Like, because here's the reality. You may not like Jameis Winston, but if Derek Carr was to go down, Jameis Winston is the best case scenario for any team. I'm telling you, any team that has a starting quarterback that gets hurt and have your backup come in. You should not have a drop-off in production. Honestly, I don't feel like if you look at Derek Carr's numbers, Jameis Winston numbers, pretty much identical, right? And honestly, even if that wasn't the case, Jameis Winston still possesses skills, a lot of skills, much better than 99.9%. And I'm not stuttering when I say this, 99.9% of backup quarterbacks. Somebody tell me if something was to happen to Derek Carr, you feel like the season is over. I don't. So what I'm saying is you got the quarterback You went out here and got Jamal Williams. So if something was to happen to AK, which we seen last season, you got Jamal Williams. You got all of this talent. If something was to happen to Michael Thomas, you got somebody to replace him. You got your Chris Olave. You got Shaheed, right? You got a plethora of tight ends. You got an offensive line that seems like they're getting it together. You got a secondary that is in their second season. You got Tyrann Mathieu acclimated to your defense for another season. So you know he's going to be playing much faster. You got young cornerbacks that understand the game a little bit more, that can play a little bit smarter. There is no excuse for Dennis Allen. I'm serious. I'm dead serious. I don't care if anybody likes this. I don't care. I'm not here to say a whole bunch of positive things about the Saints and kiss their ass. That's just not how I work. If Dennis Allen does not get the job done in 2023, he should be on their way out the door. He should be fired. Seriously. I'm so serious. There's not an excuse that I would accept for Dennis Allen to come back in 2024 if the Saints have this team and they don't make the playoffs. I'm serious. You can, like, Mickey can do it this year, right? Mickey can make that excuse. Oh man, the Sean Payton layovers. You can't use that excuse anymore. If Dennis Allen don't get the job done, he should be fired. Plain and simple. And I don't want this to happen for Dennis Allen. I do not. There's one thing that I love, Who Dat Nation. One thing that I love is a underdog story. Like, you know what I'm saying? A guy that rises from the ashes like a phoenix, or a woman rises from the ashes like a phoenix. I love those stories, right? Because I don't like beating up on people, you know, that have bad games or you know, make bad decisions. I don't like doing that. And I know you don't either. Well, some of you do. Some of you will hate on anything, but I don't like to do it. All I'm saying is, if he can't get it done, there's not an excuse in the world. There's not an excuse in the world that I can accept. I mean, maybe you can, but I can't. I can't accept Keith. I can't accept it, man. Jamar, I can't accept this, man. You know, Desi, I cannot accept mediocrity in 2023. The team is too good and the schedule is relatively too easy. You know, like, it's relatively too easy. So I'm serious, man. Like, if we're talking about this team struggling in week 8 and I'm hearing excuses about, man, well, you know, this happened. Nah, bro. I'm gonna have to go after some I'm gonna have to go after some folk, man, because I'm gonna think that you're booty kissing. I'm gonna think that you're booty kissing, right? And that ain't it. If there's no more excuses in 2023 for Dennis Allen. And once again, I'm hoping that this guy can get the job done. I'm hoping that he get the job done. Somebody said Super Bowl or bust. Look, I'm not even saying that, but you got to be better than 7-10. You got to be better than 7-10. A playoff appearance will keep Dennis Allen in New Orleans. I know some people don't want to hear that, but the Saints haven't been to the playoffs in 2 seasons. We like, Who Dat Nation, we got to be real about this. We got to be real about where this team is and where they've been and where we want them to go. The biggest fear that we have is the years that we've seen this team inept. We are feeling like that could be a possibility in 2023. So, to be quite honest with you, man, look, if he makes the playoffs, I think he keeps his job because he's better than last year. But you can't be out here picking in the top 10 like you did last season. You can't be in a Caleb Williams sweepstakes. If that's the case, he needs to exit stage left. Seriously. Princess, what up, TJ? Who that fam? You are absolutely right about DA. Look, I'm not trying to sugarcoat for anybody. Y'all know how I roll. If you've been rolling with the state of the Saints, you know how I roll, man. I don't care what these onlookers are talking about and all that kind of stuff, man. Look, we got to call a spade, and I'm not talking or going at anybody. I'm talking about no matter what the team is, right? I understand how people may feel about people and they like, oh, man, he don't want to talk to me no more. Look, I don't care, man. You know deep down inside if you're putting your best foot forward. And if somebody calls you out on it, then that's on you. That's on you. But to answer people's question, I was asking a question to the Who Dat Nation people in the chat. Even if for those that don't want to comment, that's fine. Just think this to yourself. Number 16 on the power ranking, is it too high or too low? Let me go ahead and pull this up, okay? In the meantime, let me go ahead and pull up the ESPN NFL power rankings, okay? I'm going to try to put that on the screen so we can actually see it and we can actually have an understanding of who is in front of the New Orleans Saints. All right, let me go ahead and pull that up, man. Thank y'all for tuning in, by the way. I ask that you hit the like button. Please hit the like button. You know, that we put in a lot of work here on the State of the Saints podcast, and we just want to make sure that people actually get opportunity to view the shows. And, you know, if you know, I'm not asking anybody to donate or anything like that. I appreciate the donations. All I'm asking, if you rock with the State of the Saints, please hit the like button and please subscribe to the channel. All right. And if you're new, hopefully by the end of this show, you are a subscriber. Right. So let me go ahead and I'm going to share this screen here. Try to see if I can actually share it so you all can see it. All right. I don't know what the wax guy is. Why would you put wax so clean on it? I mean, I don't know. That's weird. But anyway, let me try to see if I can actually blow this up because I can't really see it. All right. I apologize for the weird guy in the mirror or whatever. But but anyway, let's see. Number 1 is the Kansas City Chiefs. I think we all can agree with that, right? The Kansas City Chiefs being, you know, one of the best teams in the NFL. I ain't got a problem with that. No problem whatsoever with the Kansas City Chiefs being number 1. They're the Super Bowl champions. I understand all that. Buffalo Bills, I can understand that too. You know, winning the East for the last couple of years, the AFC East, you know, and, you know, being a playoff team, I can understand that. Number 3, the Bengals. I think the Bengals lost quite a bit, but they still are good offensively with Joe Burrow. You still got T. Higgins. You still got Jamar Chase. You still got Joe Mixon. So, yeah, I feel like this. I mean, it all depends on the health and the well-being of Joe Burrow. The Philadelphia Eagles, who I feel like should have been higher. I think they should have been number 3, but I think we all understand that. Run up in the Super Bowl. The San Francisco 49ers at number 5. I mean, these two teams are the class in the NFC, the Eagles and the 49ers. Number 6, the Miami Dolphins. I'm kind of on the fence with that. It all depends on the health of Tua Tagovailoa. Can he stay healthy? Are the concussion issues behind him? I don't know, right? You got the Los Angeles Chargers. How in the world are they at number 7? Like, you talking about a choke artist team. Like, they are the Atlanta Falcons West Coast, right? No disrespect, but let's just call it for what it is. They had no business losing that game against the Jacksonville Jaguars. You had 4 turnovers in the first half, and you allowed Trevor Lawrence to come back and throw 4 more touchdowns. So he threw 4 touchdowns, 4 picks to beat y'all in the playoffs. How are they number 7? But anyway, you got the Baltimore Ravens. I'm not mad at that. We know what they possess offensively, adding Zay Flowers, the rookie out of Boston College, getting Odell Beckham Jr. J.K. Dobbins is fully healthy. He's been dealing with health issues. You still got Mark Andrews, who I feel like is one of the best tight ends in the game. The Jets. I mean, what have the Jets done? Like, seriously, what have the Jets done besides, like, get Aaron Rodgers? So this is an Aaron Rodgers power ranking. If Aaron Rodgers wasn't on the Jets team, guess what? They will not be number 9. Trust and believe. They'll probably be at number 16 like the Saints. Number 10 are the Cowboys. I know some people ain't going to hear this, but I feel like the Cowboys should be higher on this list. Like, based on what they did last season, yes, they wet the bed. Yes, they choked against a washed Tom Brady on the tail end of his career. But, you know, like, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Let me take that back. They beat a washed Tom Brady, right? They beat him. So, you know, to me, I think they should have been a little bit higher. It should have been like around 7 or 8. Number 11, the Detroit Lions. Like, why? Like, come on, man. Give me a freaking break. I like what the Detroit Lions are doing. I like what Detroit is doing, but seriously, the Detroit Lions have not done anything, right? Besides beat the Packers in the last game of the season, and now they got all the momentum, and now everybody picking them to win everything. The Jacksonville Jaguars should have been ahead of the Detroit Lions. They got a really good coach, a coach that I feel like can get a lot out of Trevor Lawrence. And, you have Travis Etienne, who seemed like he's coming along, after missing an entire season his rookie year. I mean, you got Calvin Ridley out there. You got Christian Kirk. You got Evan Ingram. You got some offensive weapons, man. And you got a young defense. Think they should have been a little bit higher. The Cleveland. I know that the Cleveland Browns, this is the most disrespectful thing I have ever seen. Are you kidding me? You're telling me that going into week 1, I'm pretty like this is all going to change. You're telling me that the Cleveland Browns are a better team than the Saints? Lord have mercy. I'm not the smartest man in the world, but didn't the Saints beat the Cleveland Browns last season? Didn't they beat them? What are we talking about here? Like, look, I do think that the Cleveland Browns are going to be a much better team. I do, but come on, man. Number 13. Number 14, the Denver Broncos. You got Sean Payton, got a new addition to that, right? But still, I mean, is Russell Wilson going back to his old ways, or is he washed like, 30-plus-year-old quarterbacks? Number 15 is the Seattle Seahawks, a team. Like, think about this, folks. The Seattle Seahawks, who made the playoffs, right? I think a lot of people get that confused because they had a top 10 pick, but that was because of the Denver Broncos. That's because they made a trade with the Denver Broncos, right? They were in the playoffs. You had Geno Smith, who was comeback player of the year. You're telling me Cleveland, who didn't make the playoffs, telling me that the Detroit Lions, who did not make the playoffs. Come on, man. Knock it off. And then you have the Minnesota Vikings. Okay, the Minnesota Vikings. Wait a minute. This may be another power ranking. I apologize. But okay, so we got the New England Patriots. So where are the Saints at on ESPN? Number 20. So what was the power ranking that I saw? That may have been NFL.com's power ranking. They got the Saints at number 20. So the Saints are at the bottom of the list. Spreading the ball around, that wasn't the case last year when rookie Chris Olave had 72 receptions for 1,042 yards due to injury elsewhere. But it's certainly been the formula for success in the past. And that's what the Saints have shown in camp and plan on doing in 2023. The Saints won't put everything on their shoulders of Olave and Michael Thomas, with other potential pass catchers like Juwan Johnson, running back Alvin Kamara, and a number of other expected to be rotated in the mix. Shouts out to Catherine Terrell. But look here. How you saying all these? Well, okay. Well, Catherine, she follows the team. But how is it that the Saints, they bring in a quarterback, right? They bring in a quarterback who's a top 15 pick. And then all of a sudden, top 15 quarterback, I should say. And then all of a sudden, that still ain't good enough. I said it on the last episode. If Derek Carr would have went to a team that people actually, and I'm talking about actually in the mainstream, ones on ESPN, Fox Sports 1, if he went to a team that they just love like that, all of a sudden they'll be singing his praises. But all of a sudden, the addition of Derek Carr is minimizing the New Orleans Saints. Bruh, just say that y'all want to talk about certain teams and just leave it at that. Trash. But anyway, those are your power rankings. I was like, number 16, that was NFL.com's power ranking. I apologize for that, but that made me even upset because I'm looking like number 16. Okay, here we go. I don't know who made that power ranking, but they need to leave that weed alone. Number 20 is low, but I'm okay. A fly under the radar. Yeah, I'm not mad at that, but I just feel like, well, yeah, I am mad at it. Like, you look, you can be number 16, number 15. That's still flying under the radar. That's like middle of the pack. Like, there's only 32 NFL teams, right? You know what I'm saying? So if you like below 16, like you one of the worst teams in the league. We'll see. TJ got distracted by the wax so clean picture. Yeah, that was just that. I'm like, man, that's so random. Just a guy who waxing. But anyway, let's see. Who cares about power rankings? All that matters is what the New Orleans Saints do when the season starts and how they finish the season. I agree with that, Brian. That's the absolute truth. It depends on how they finish the season. Let me see. And I am sniping Browns fans. Look, I ain't got nothing against Brown fans, but let's be realistic about this. Deshaun Watson, he hasn't been the same since all that stuff that went down. Like maybe this year, everything that kind of died down. You don't have the allegations. You don't have people out here faking and pretending like they actually outraged about what you did. It's kind of quiet, ain't it, folks? Ain't it quiet? Like, man, so many people were outraged around this time last year. Now all of a sudden, ain't nobody saying nothing about Deshaun Watson. I wonder. But when I say people, have microwave mentality, they get mad at me for saying that. But hey, it is what it is. Look, Deshaun Watson doesn't have any of those things, hovering over his head. So maybe he'll play a little bit better. But yeah, man. So, but I still don't feel like they're gonna be that good. And let's see, fire shirt, TJ. I appreciate that, man. This is the first logo of the State of the Saints podcast. When I first started doing the show. This show been going on since 2018. So yeah, this is one of the first shirts that I had. Let's see. I guess I accepted. Panthers, Falcons, and Bucks are all below the Saints to win the division. Yeah, that could have something to do with it too, how bad the division was. But hey, TJ, they scared of me because they know what's coming next. Be for real, don't be biased. Yeah, look, that's what I'm saying. I'm not trying to be biased. Like seriously, like I have no problem with some of those other teams, like the Seahawks. I agree. Like even though the Saints beat them, I still feel like they went to the playoffs. Right? You got the New England Patriots. I can kind of understand that, even though the Saints, feel like the Saints are in better shape than the New England Patriots. But look, I'm not a homer. I'm not just gonna be waving the pom poms here. If I feel like a team is better than the Saints at this particular point or going into the season, I say it. Let's see. What up, TJ? Seems like forever, but we are back at it again. Good to see everybody back. Yeah, man. Look, the season is upon us, man. Week 1 is only a few days away. If I'm not mistaken, 4 days away if you're watching this on a Wednesday. So a lot of excitement is going on in the Who Dat Nation. A lot of excitement. But leads me to week number 1. Man, y'all setting up these segues, man. My goodness. Week number 1, the New Orleans Saints taking on the Tennessee Titans. And, I haven't really been talking about this game as much, probably because I'm trying to see what the New Orleans Saints can, have and what the Tennessee Titans are going to have week 1. Look, I think that this should be a game where the Saints go out and make a statement. This has got to be a statement game. You're going to have over 50,000 crazy New Orleans Saints fans screaming to the top of their lungs because they're so excited about how things have transpired in the offseason, and they want to see what the decisions that the Saints have made in the offseason, they want to see that come into fruition. And, you also have Derek Carr, who I feel like has a huge chip on his shoulder. This guy has a huge chip on his shoulder. So you need to come out here firing on all cylinders. You got a lot of guys who are basically castaways. You got a lot of guys out here that people felt like, oh, you're not what we want you to be. Guys like Jamal Williams, right? Had him as a battering ram running back, but he feels like he possesses more skills. Well, come out here and do it. Let's see what you can do. Let's see what the New Orleans Saints can put on the field. And I'm not going to really talk about this as much because y'all know how I roll here on the State of the Saints podcast. Saturdays is normally when I break down the game and the keys to victory and all that kind of stuff. But this is going to be a tough game for the New Orleans Saints. Like anybody that thinks that this game gonna be easy and all of a sudden we just gonna beat the brakes off the Tennessee Titans, I don't know about all that. Now, if they do that, I'll be happy. I'll be around this thing doing a Benson boogie just like everybody else. But the Tennessee Titans are a smash mouth team. And you got to have a certain mentality playing against a team like the Tennessee Titans. You got to come there and have your big boy pants on playing against the Tennessee Titans, right? We're going to find out how tough mentally and physically the New Orleans Saints team is going up against the Tennessee Titans. This is the best situation that the New Orleans Saints could be in. Seriously, because these type of games really show you what type of team that you really have. Now, I expect some mistakes, not gonna lie, because I mean it's the first game of the season. We seen Joe Burrow last year threw 4 interceptions against the Cowboys, right? And all of a sudden, like next thing you know, like he around this thing facilitating comebacks, team in the playoffs. So I say what you see. If you see some mistakes, you know they'll get fixed. For the most part, right? But I do want to see some consistency when it comes to pass catching, offensive line play, and also quarterback play, right? And also, I just want to see some decisions being made by the Saints coaching staff that I can look at and be like, man, I understand why they did that, right? I don't want to see deer in the headlights like they did against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I don't want to see scary decisions, right? When it's 4th and 1 and you punting, you know what I'm saying? Even though you on, you know what I'm saying? Like you in opposition territory. Like I'm not trying to see that. I'm not trying to see that at all. I want to see some tough physical football. I want to see some guys out there putting their best foot forward. I want to see some dog.
It's all dog around this mug.
I want to see some dog.
It's all dog around this mug.
That's what I want to see, man. I ain't trying to hear at the end of press conference people talking about cleaning anything.
I gotta clean up what I messed up.
I'm tired of hearing about cleaning up. All right. I'm tired of that. Right. This ain't Barney and Friends. We ain't cleaning up. Like if you want to improve, but clean up this, clean up. Like, man, I'm tired of that, man. Like get this job done, man. Find somebody else that will. Right. I got my eye on what's his name, Ben Johnson. I got my eye on Ben Johnson out there, offensive coordinator for the Detroit Lions. If it don't pan out. Right, I'm serious. I'm looking at what Ben Johnson do with the Detroit Lions in 2023. Right, but let me read a few more of your comments, and then we're gonna go ahead and get up out of here, and I'll talk about some of the things that are coming up for the State of the Saints podcast. Says TJ, both teams have decided defensive line and offensive line matchup edges. The offense that hits on 1 or 2 big plays in a low-scoring game will go a long way towards deciding it. And also turnover margin and one big. Yeah, special teams play. Look, I feel like this. Those are some good points. Those are some good points, Eugene. I really feel like it's going to be a low-scoring game. I'm with you. I don't feel like if the Saints get 30 points against the Tennessee Titans, I would be shocked. Absolutely, utterly shocked. I don't see that happening. Cool Sports, thank you very much for the $4.99. I appreciate that. And let's see. It's going to be hard just because Derrick Henry is coming back. I still can't believe Derrick Henry has never played against the New Orleans Saints. Like, I don't think he ever played against New Orleans Saints. It's weird. Like every time the Saints play the Titans, he never plays. It's like he's hurt or, like he's just not available. So this will be his first game, I think, playing against the New Orleans Saints. So I'm interested to see how they're going to attack him. Like it always like falls in the favor of the Saints. He never plays ever. Like it's crazy. Anyone got the link to watch the Saints game for free? These streaming prices ridiculous. Yeah, man, they're getting crazy out here. They're getting absolutely crazy. I wish I can help you on that. Actually, I can, man. If you're on Facebook, you can go to New Orleans Saints Live, man. They stream every Saints game. So you might want to join that group right there. New Orleans Saints Live. I don't know how, like, honestly, I don't want to talk about it too much. New Orleans Saints Live. Y'all so biased, but it's cool. LOL. Y'all will be humble starting this season, starting Sunday. Tampa, Baker. Well, you can tell this is somebody that don't roll with the show. I don't know if you changed the name or what, but one thing you can't accuse me of is being biased. Like, go back and watch the shows. I've have ticked off a lot of Saints fans because of my feelings, my thoughts, and my views. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And my thoughts and my views. I'm actually looking at a text message right now. My thoughts and my views, man. I'm pretty even keel here. I want the Saints to win, of course, but I ain't about to be sitting up here like waving no pom poms, man. Wrong show. Good game, wrong guy. Let's see. Thank you very much for 499. Says, what up, big time of TJ? They don't respect us, but I truly believe we will be a playoff team this season. Look, Cool Sports, I agree. I think we will be a playoff team. By we, I mean the New Orleans Saints. By we, I mean everybody in the chat that rock with the New Orleans Saints. Of course, I'm not talking about Tampa Baker there. But nah, we're not biased here, man. Like if you look in the chat or watch in the chat, you got people that came from your team that watches the State of the Saints podcast because we pretty even kill here. So I don't know what you're talking about, brother. I don't know what you're talking about. I really do not. But I know I'm about to make somebody very upset. The guy who commented and said we have too many commercials at the beginning of the show. So I decided to make the commercials towards the end of the show. And since this brother did not respond back to me when I said, are you going to fit the bill? I got to go ahead and mention our sponsor, manscaped.com. Manscaped.com. Yes, we are back with manscaped.com. And they got some really good products that are available, man. All you have to do is go to manscaped.com. Use that promo code SOTS, and you will save 20% off of your purchase. Right? So shouts out to manscaped.com, the official sponsor of the State of the Saints podcast. Shouts out to DraftKings, another official sponsor of the State of the Saints podcast. Really do appreciate it. And shouts out to that brother. Hopefully he can send me that invoice where I don't have to mention any of these sponsors again. But until then, the show is sponsored by Manscaped and DraftKings.com. All right. Said, can we get Womanscaped? Look, women can use Manscaped too. They got products too, for grooming. So, we don't discriminate over here. If you want to go to manscaped.com, use that promo code SOTS, and get, some of the products, feel free. Like they don't discriminate. We don't discriminate over here. They got something for everybody over here. We shut down Derrick Henry and we win. Yeah, I mean, you shut down him, that don't set up the play action for Tannehill. Yeah. Let's see. TJ, his ass will get over it. Read that ad. Look, Pammy, I ain't really concerned about that. Like I said, man, all I'm saying is run me that Skrilla, and I won't have to talk. But until then, man, that's our sponsors, man. We bust out behind for these sponsors, man. So we want to make sure that we acknowledge them. You know what I'm saying? Like Roman Reigns, acknowledge them. But got some good news before we get up out of here, man. Number one, I'm really excited about this, man. I'm just kind of taken back. But this Sunday, immediately following the New Orleans Saints Tennessee Titans game, yours truly, TJAY Jones, will be on Bleacher Report doing a live stream talking about the New Orleans Saints win. Yes, I'm calling it right now. Win. And I'm excited about it, man. And also the next day on Monday at 2:30 Eastern Standard Time, I will be doing a live stream breaking down the game, talking about the highs and the lows. Hopefully we're talking more highs than lows. But, we're going to be talking about that, and I'm extremely excited about it, man. I mean, shouts out to Justin Ross of Bleacher Report reaching out to me, giving me an opportunity to do that, man. I'm just excited. It's just a testament to how much work that we put in, how much, dedication that we've had, show after show, grinding, you know what I'm saying, doing it, playing the long game. It finally feels like the State of the Saints podcast is trying to reach its stride. And I'm excited about it, man. So if you're not doing anything, make sure you tune in to Bleacher Report on Sunday after the game. We're going to go about 30 minutes, talk a little bit about the game. And then we're going to roll right over here to the State of the Saints podcast, talk about the game. No matter if they win, lose, y'all know how we do it here. And also, man, a lot of the shows that I've been doing, I know you all see that, they've been pre-recorded. I kind of went back to the original format, 2018 style. I have a little bit of a new position. I'm following the Coastal Carolina Chanticleers football team. I'm a part of the media team over there. So, really been kind of focusing on, what the Chants are doing and trying to get that information out there, man. So, going to be going to all the home games for the Coastal Carolina Chanticleers, writing articles, Gumbo Pie Sports. Hopefully you all checking it out. It's not one of those paywall websites. No disrespect to anybody that does that, but I just want to give content and stories that people can just come and enjoy and get an understanding of it. And if you haven't checked out gumbopodsports.com, please check it out. Like, we don't just talk about the New Orleans Saints, but we talk about all of the NFL. Any story that kind of intrigues me, I'll write an article about it. So, I mean, it's big things happening here on the State of the Saints podcast. A lot of positive things happening, my way. And just know, man, no matter what happens, we still going to have the State of the Saints podcast. No doubt about it. Oh, yeah, and I got to mention HNSN, right? HNSN, the podcast network. I do a weekly podcast, the State of the Saints podcast on HNSN. I'm asking that you download the app if you want to check it out. It's a weekly show. It's a little bit different than what we do here. Not only do I talk about the Saints, but I talk about the NFL as well. So make sure you check it out, man. I submitted the first episode of the State of the Saints podcast on HNSN, and I'm asking you all to check it out. Download that app, man. Let me know what you think. And let me go ahead and finish up, read some of you all's comments, and like I said, then we'll get up out of here. So y'all hit the like button before we clear out of here. Blow his page up, man. Look, I appreciate that, Kevin. Thank you, man. I'm asking everybody to hit the like button. I ain't one of them people that, man, I'm too cool for Scoop. No, pretty please hit the like button. All right, if you like the show. TJ, going from Roll Brown to Uncle Shay. Nah, I don't know about all that, but I'm just grateful, man. I'm just grateful and thankful for any opportunity, and I know what, how and why I got those opportunities. And I'll never forget that. Like, I don't care what's popping off. State of the Saints podcast is going to be on somebody network. You know what I'm saying? We going to always be talking about the Saints. Like, I don't care what happened. We still going to be talking about the Saints because, man, I love my hometown team. TJ got it cracking. Like DJ Manny Fresh, everything real big. Yeah, man. Speaking of Manny Fresh and Cash Money, man, BG done got free on us, man. Shouts out to BG. You know what I'm saying? Like, been a long time. BG, the OG, Cash Money record, Hot Boys back in the day, man. It's good to see that man out. Whoa, now sorry I missed the show, TJ. Nah, it's okay, King Arthur, man. We about to wrap it up anyway. Been a long day for yours truly, and I'm pretty sure it's been a long day for everybody else. And I hope you enjoyed the show. I hope you all enjoyed it. And if you're new, I hope you enjoyed it as well. TJ, did your grandma call them stories? Yeah. Yeah, she called them stories. Oh, who didn't call them stories? Who didn't call them stories? I'm about to watch my stories. Who didn't say that back in the day? Yeah, I think everybody said the stories. Everybody said the soap operas. Who said the soap operas? That doesn't sound way too proper. Can you turn on the soap operas? No, man, turn them stories on. Glad I bought my tickets before the season started. Let's see, Pull Up Jones. Let's see, SOTS needs a fantasy league if there isn't one. Man, I thought about doing that, but man, based on like the things I have going on, I ain't gonna be switching them teams around. But I do encourage people, to start a fantasy league. Y'all can start one. There's a lot of people in the chat right now, and over the years, like, we became a family. So I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people in the chat who probably talk offline. Like, y'all set something up. But me this year, I ain't gonna have no time for that. Y'all gonna be beating the hell out of me every single week because I'll be like, man, I ain't changed the guy around. Oh, they on a bye week. We are going to the Super Bowl. I like that energy, Wallace. I like that energy, man. Hopefully you're right. TJ is 6-2 or 7-1 realistic in our first 8 games. Yeah, very realistic. I mean, I did the prediction show, King Arthur, and I talked about that. I talked about how I feel like the Saints, I don't think they're going to lose a game until they play the New England Patriots. I mean, I said that, right? I went on record and saying that. And hopefully they make a believer out of me. I mean, they don't make a lie out of me, I should say. Let's see. I feel like folks living at English turn say soap opera. Why? What up, OG? They say, are you going to season opener game? No, I can't go to the season opener because I'm actually Coastal Carolina has their first home game. They're playing against Jacksonville State. So I won't be able to go to it. But I will be at some Saints games, right? I will be at some Saints games. Some of the games are going to be away games. Some of the games going to be away, but I'm definitely going to be coming to some of the home games as well. So when I do, I just want to make sure I let everybody know, and maybe we can meet up somewhere or something. And kind of talk about the game. Hopefully we're talking positive and not just being upset. But I want to say thank you all for checking out the State of the Saints podcast live. Yes, we were live tonight. And shouts out to everybody in the chat. 142 people watching this as of right now as I'm talking. I ask that you hit the like button. I hope you enjoyed the show. We will be back later on this week. Rather it's live again or we're doing a little pre-recording. But regardless, no matter what goes on with the New Orleans Saints, we're going to be talking about it right here on the State of the Saints podcast. And I apologize for this. I know some people have been saying that the Apple streams have not been coming up. I realized what happened. The format that I actually link all of the platforms to, they actually switched some things up. So that's the reason why some people were able to check it out on, I want to say on Anchor FM or Spotify for podcasters and not Apple, is because when they did the changeover, they took away like the Apple RSS feeds and stuff like that. So I'm going to get that fixed so everybody can check out the shows. They will be available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and Anchor FM. Follow me on X, also known as Twitter. I'm sorry, man. Follow me on X. Like, just think about this. Somebody follow me on. Why would you want? But anyway, TJAY Jones 8 is where you can follow me. And also check out gumbopotsports.com. Once again, a free publication focusing on sports. No paywall, no subscribe to this, no subscribe to that, no disrespect to anybody, but this is how I roll. Check it out. Let me know what you think about the articles. Like and share the articles. I did an article today about Dennis Allen, and I feel like, it's put up a shut up time for him. Make sure that you check that out. And also I wrote about Chandler Jones, man, losing his mind on social media. So a lot of content there. Be sure to check it out, subscribe, and let me know what you all think. Till next time, all I got to say is, who dat? And I'm looking for the outro. Who dat?
Hey, don't let these tears fool you. It's all dog around this mug. I'm good.